Sisters give birth on the same day. Then the doctor makes a shocking discovery. On the same day, these two sisters gave birth to their lovely children. What a synchronicity! One might say they are nonetheless twin sisters, and that's not even the strangest part of the story. Of course, you've heard of twins who are really close, but what about twins who become pregnant at the same time and give birth on the same day? That's a different story altogether. What's more, the oddest part is yet to come, because the doctor makes a startling discovery shortly after the birth. "I was really astonished when I came into the room," the doctor told the reporter. "I felt my eyes were playing tricks on me for a while." When the doctor entered the delivery room, he was so taken aback by what he saw that he blinked a few more times. His eyes, however, were not deceiving him. This was the real deal. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be inspired by these real-life stories on a daily basis. Now, let's return to the story. Are you curious as to what he discovered in the delivery room? Then keep watching this amazing story. Lily and Ariana, identical twin sisters, were born in a quiet neighborhood 17 years ago. Lily and Ariana grew up together and did everything together. You'd never see Lily without Ariana nearby, and vice versa. They wore the same clothes, were in the same class, had the same friends, and played together. Even their mother had difficulties keeping them separate at times. The two girls were inseparable and pledged to always be together. But to ensure that they would, they devised a unique strategy. The twins were raised in a hamlet that was cut off from the rest of the world. The gender roles were still highly traditional in this country, and girls were primarily expected to have children at an early age and to care for the home. Lily and Ariana grew up in this environment and had no other options. As a result, their greatest ambition was to have children at the same time and raise them as a family. They'd be able to stay together indefinitely in this manner. But when their mother found out the sisters were expecting a child, their fantasy was shattered into 1,000 pieces. When Lily and Ariana's mother discovered that they'd gained weight, they were already 6 months pregnant. She was perplexed as to how she'd gained so much weight. The girls were often hungry, but they didn't eat enough to gain this much weight. As a result, she made the decision to keep a careful eye on them. So she peered inside one of her daughter's rooms while the door was left ajar. The sisters were simply comparing their tummies to determine who had the fastest growing baby. "Mine's already begun to kick." Her eyes grew wide as she heard Lily say something, and she covered her mouth with her hand. However, after a brief moment of perplexity, she opened the door. "What's the meaning of this?" she exclaimed, staring at her daughter's distended stomachs. Fearful, the females frantically grabbed their garments to hide their bellies. However, it was too late. The mother was outraged because their secret had been uncovered. It wasn't because of the pregnancy, it was because they hadn't married yet. She termed it a disgrace and threatened to separate the girls as punishment. Lily would remain with her strict aunt, while Ariana would stay with her mother. The twins cried out for their mother, begging her to let them stay together, but she refused. For months, the two sisters wouldn't see each other. Until the day of the delivery, that is. Lily awoke in the middle of the night with a stabbing pain in her abdomen, and when she glanced under the blankets, her whole bed was bloody and dripping wet. Her aunt rushed to her room after she screamed in terror. When her aunt saw the blood, she hurriedly took Lily by the arm and hustled her down the steps into the car. There was not a moment to lose. They had to get to the hospital now. With screeching tires, they drove to the nearest hospital. Once there, Lily was immediately taken to the emergency room. And then it was time. Lily had to start giving birth almost immediately because the baby was stuck in the birth canal, and this could become dangerous if it took too long. With all her strength, Lily pushed her baby into the world. And then he was finally here, her little man. It had been a difficult birth for Lily, and she would have to stay in hospital for some time. When she was reeled over to her room to rest, she felt a mixture of emotions. On the one hand, she was overjoyed with her baby, but on the other hand, she missed her sister. She hadn't seen her sister since her mother separated them months ago. But when she arrived at the hospital room, a very special surprise awaited her, because there, on the other bed, her sister Ariana was lying with her own child in her arms. It appeared as if it was meant to be. Both sisters had given birth on exactly the same day. Lily and Ariana wanted to rush out of bed and hug each other when they saw each other, but the nurse prevented them. "There'll be plenty of time for that later," she reassured, "but you should get some rest first." The girls' beds were placed close to each other, and they chatted nonstop. Resting would have to wait because they missed each other so much. But then there was the biggest shock of all. For a brief period, Lily's doctor believed he was going insane as he came into the room to check on her. Not only did he observe the two girls with their baby, but he also noticed two young men who appeared to be twins. He blinked a few times, but the vision remained the same. He approached this unique trio perplexed. As he moved towards the beds, he exclaimed, "I feel like I'm seeing double." Lily and Ariana shook their heads, laughing. "No, this is Colin and John, our children's fathers and identical twins," they exclaimed in unison. This was unheard of. One set of identical twins dated another set of identical twins and had their babies on the same day. The twins and their children were extensively watched by the media because this was such big news. Do you want to know what they're doing now? Then keep watching. Now, 4 years later, the sisters have realized their greatest dream. They now reside in two magnificent houses next to each other and are raising their children with their husbands, Colin and John, who are twins. They moved away from the conventional commune, which had turned their backs on them due to their unwed pregnancy. It was a devastating blow for the little girls, but in exchange for the loss of one family, they got a very special family of their own. The two young families are still very happy together and wouldn't change anything about their experience. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.